Vicky, the suspect accused of shooting and killing the CEO of UnitedHealthcare has pleaded not guilty to murder and terrorism-related charges. Luigi Mangione appearing in a New York court earlier today as part of his state case. The 26-year-old is also facing federal charges that could carry the possibility of the death penalty. Mangione is being held in federal jail in Brooklyn. Remember, he was extradited from Pennsylvania last week. NBC News correspondent Steven Romo is in New York with more for us. So, Steven, Mangione's defense attorney is arguing that it would be difficult for him to get a fair trial in New York City, and a lot of that argument seems to be tied to the way the mayor of New York City has handled this case in public, right? Explain the back and forth here. Did the judge seem open to this request for a change in venue, or did they push back on the defense's argument?
Yeah, Ellison, Mangione's attorneys certainly really hitting those perp walks that we've seen so much of in the past few days, from Mangione being surrounded by these law enforcement officers with some high-powered weapons. His attorney, Karen Friedman-Agnifilo, really saying this could potentially prejudice potential jurors that will eventually be called when this case goes to trial. And she really pinned this on Mayor Eric Adams, referencing his own legal troubles, saying he should know that there is a right to a fair trial in the United States of America. The judge came back toward those allegations, saying that he really can't control what happens outside the courtroom. But as for the situation for that the attorneys also asked for Mangione, was the expedited discovery of evidence. That's something that Karen Friedman-Agnifilo is also asking for, something the judge also agreed needs to happen in this case, since prosecutors have had access to that evidence for a few weeks now. Prosecutors saying that they will try to expedite the evidence discovery, but that there is just so much of it to try to go through. They're going to revisit that in just a couple of weeks. But the most fireworks that we saw from today really did come from her saying that right now it's really looking like the spectacle, as she called it, of these perp walks could be something that she thinks could prejudice the jury.
Interesting stuff, Stephen. What happens next here from just a logistical standpoint? Because as we mentioned, he's facing both state and federal charges. Those would be two separate trials.
Yeah, certainly what we did hear from Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg recently, saying that the state case would go to trial first before the federal trial. Now, the federal charges that he's facing parallel to these state charges, they are the ones that could bring the death penalty. So, of course, something that certainly people will be looking at right now, the state charges, which he pled guilty to today, those have the potential to bring life in prison. Ellison?
Steven Romo in Manhattan for us. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.